Welcome to the Virtual Concert Hall's Music Live channel. My name is Chris Au and I will be your host for today's show. Today we are reviewing our principles and our foundational values, diversity and inclusivity in the Sound Espressivo competition, as well as with our collaborators. We discuss our mission and our purpose in this creation of the Sound Espressivo competition, and I will be reviewing what our co-founder Anna Ouspenskaya says about diversity and inclusion. Since music is a universal language, it is pertinent that we embark on our mission with acceptance, inclusion, and humility. And what is our mission really? We are connecting musicians and audiences in real-time music performances and live programs from around the globe. Hello and welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. My name is Chris Au and I will be your host for today. And this season, for 2023 to 2024, we have so many shows planned. We have so many things involving Carnegie Hall and many orchestras from around the world who are embarking with us on this journey to give you live music, or for you to be a part of as a competitor, as a performer, as an artist, as a composer, as a singer, vocalist. We welcome everyone. And speaking of welcoming everyone, our show today is about just that. We take a look at the repertoire, the kinds of judges and the types of performances that we would love to show on our virtual stage and have you on as part of our virtual stage. But first, let's take a quick look at what we have in store this season. So we have a lot of things planned for this coming season, as you can see, with our collaborators and all of our concerts and events. And this all is really important for us to talk about because we want to warm up to our season and to introduce you day by day how and what we're thinking about in terms of our values of diversity and inclusivity. We have an exciting season ahead. We have many interviews with our guest artists, performers, judges, music promoters, and we want to show you some interviews and clips. Today, we're going to show you some clips about our philosophy and mission behind our diversity and inclusivity values. And who better to talk about these values than our co-founder, Anna Ouspenskaya herself. She is an incredible, phenomenal teacher, performer, pianist, but also someone who really values these diversity inclusivity principles that we imbue within the organization. And let's have a look at this clip where she talks about this.
Let's talk about some principles which we lay as a foundation behind the concepts of the Sound Espressivo. We revised the concept of a competition. We went section by section, concept by concept, component by component, with these ideas in mind and how to put them to work. First of all, diversity. When we speak of diversity, immediately we speak about acceptance of people of different inheritance, different heritage, different countries, different differences. Now, when we put the same concept to our lives and our work as artists, it becomes a little bit less clear. What is diversity anyway for us as artists? Another concept which was put as a foundation for Sound Espressivo and each element in the competition is inclusivity. Again, inclusivity and diversity, those are similar concepts in the same family of ideas and philosophies. But again, as we go forward with our deeds, with our actions, with our projects, how do we make inclusivity work within the framework of a project? Each element of Sound Espressivo Competition, at least we try to, expresses those concepts through how and what we offer to the teachers, to contestants, and to community of music lovers and everybody who is interested in musical arts.
We really do embrace every performer and their diverse musical backgrounds, and this is a really important part of the thought behind it. And I can see that, I, as a Sound Espressivo competition prize winner, when I was back in Australia performing on their live shows, I could see how much effort and dedication they put in to make sure I had the right technology, the right background, the right lighting. That's just the tech side, but also they gave me a really amazing platform to perform the music that I wanted to. They embraced all different kinds of repertoire, all different kinds of music timing, and I could play this piece from this era, I could play this piece and this many movements from it. And they really try to involve everyone in the process. And as I've been working with Sound Espressivo and all the collaborators, what I have always found is that they will try to make room and adjustments to include everybody. And as you know, musicians all have their different backgrounds and their personalities, and it's really important for us to manage that and adapt to that. And that involves a lot of dedication. And I'm really, really proud to be a part of Sound Espressivo competition to include all that. We're going to talk a little bit about the previous broadcasts, and what we do in a broadcast is really important. A broadcast each day like this shows you and shows everyone our values. All of this is live. There is no sort of recorded version that we've put on. It's all live in an attempt to show you that we are being sincere and genuine and authentic. So this little bit clip that we're going to show you shows the previous broadcasts that we've done and our values and what we are all about. Enjoy.
What is happening with the competitions? What value do they provide for musicians, for students, for teachers? How musicians need to choose the competitions to match those values, the prizes, the experience, and the publicity which each competition is able to provide with the growth of a musician and a student at a particular stage. We also talked about another aspect. Now we're coming to diversity. We diversified Sound Espressivo. We included the concept of what social media can provide to musicians today. And we talked with one of the youngest members of our judges panel and the new social media manager for Sound Espressivo, pianist Chris Au. He gave us tremendous insight from a younger generation musician about how the social media can actually not be an evil, destroying presence in our life which just does nothing but deprives us of free time, but can be converted into a powerful and positive tool towards one's growth as a musician, as an artist, as a person, one's ability to communicate on different levels, and so forth. Very, very interesting program. Check it out. We also talked about connection, again, a community. And we revised the proven and very much working concept of separating contestants from the judges. In majority of the competitions, contestants are rarely allowed to make contact with the judges. And there are plenty of reasons why it was done that way and why it was a widely accepted and very working good concept. But we decided to change that and instead provide contestants with immediate feedback from the judges and an opportunity to ask questions, to make contact and to go more in depth, to get, again, more tools towards their growth. We also talked about prizes. And through the prizes, which Sound Espressivo offers, we again put the concept of diversity and diversifying a musician as a person, as an artist, as an influencer. And we offer prizes from various companies which work in the music industry. Those are festivals, managers who organize tours for musicians, and many others who work in the industry as supporting services for musicians for concert events. The prizes represent graphic designers, video and audio engineers who offer their services to create and support young musicians in their furthering of their careers, connections, because the ultimate goal of every musician of going to the competition is what? To perform more. Now that's a complex process, and we want young musicians to be aware that it's not a 1, 2, 3 and go. It involves preparing portfolios, presenting oneself, seeking those opportunities with the tools at hand. If one doesn't have recordings, doesn't have a website which describes that person, doesn't have a blog he wrote which portrays them as a diverse, again, artist, as a member of a community of culture, it's much harder for them to simply find engagements in the future. So the prizes are geared towards diversifying a musician and supporting their endeavor at becoming more than just players who are expecting the rest of the world to revolve around them and serve them and put them on big stage, because that just doesn't work anymore.
Part of what was really important about the Sound Espressivo competition was that it was given birth from the pandemic. It was a time to reflect on what it means to be a musician, an artist, a performer, and diversity is incredibly important in many ways, and inclusivity is also incredibly important in our values. Part of what we do with diversity and inclusivity is to try to support musicians by telling them what kind of competitions they should choose. Because as you're going through, if you look up music competitions or piano competitions or any kind of competition, you'll see that there's so many different types. But we teach you and we help you choose what will best improve your life, your career, and give diversity to the amount of opportunities that you can come across. And part of that actually is our Sound Espressivo Carnegie Hall auditions, which allows musicians of all different backgrounds to embark on a journey with us and showcase themselves in the diverse kind of things that they do on stage. And I encourage you strongly to apply and to be a part of what we have, because this will not only give you a platform, but it shows you what we love to do, which is to include everyone of all different diverse musical backgrounds and to put them on a stage that is internationally prestigious and well known. We also want to help you by our guest interviews, showing you what the music industry and the music world and how to make a career, and by giving you testimonies of those who have made it within these sorts of industries and worlds. It's really important these days to use social media well and to use it with whether it's blogs or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, whatever platform you feel most comfortable in, because it shows you as a diverse artist. And we have music promoters and people within our organization and our collaborations in order for us to showcase you as a diverse artist. And you don't have to do all the work, but we can show you, especially with our collaborators like Fearless Artist Mastermind, what the little steps are that will give you the right direction. We've collaborated with Fearless Artist Mastermind, and there will be interviews soon with one of the founders called Michelle Lin. And she is an incredible person trying to encourage and support musicians in their endeavor to realize themselves within the social media platform. And part of it is being fearless, part of it is being courageous, and part of it is showing your process, documenting that process so that musicians will know what you're doing, but fellow musicians can also be encouraged by that. And our prizes, part of our prizes are geared towards diversifying you as an artist. And what better diversity is there than to perform on stages and with orchestras all over the world. So elaborating on that, we're going to show you another clip where Dr. Anna Ouspenskaya talks about this diversity, and we'll talk a little bit more about it after this clip.
We also wanted to support musicians to include diversity in their in their approach to every aspect. Study, for example, we provide scholarships from a whole variety of organizations, international, in Europe, in Asia, and in the United States. When I was a student, it used to be you study with one teacher, and if you happen to seek consult from a different teacher, that was perceived almost as a lack of loyalty. The world has changed, and it's better we acknowledge it and see what good it brings. Now musicians are able to consult, young musicians and, like myself, professionals. I love getting feedback from my colleagues. It's very helpful. And it's very helpful for young musicians also to hear feedback from other professionals. Yes, they need to follow the instruction and the lesson plan of their leading teacher. That's really important, because that teacher knows where they are at every moment and what they need to do next steps, building blocks in their technique, in their ability to approach different literature, music literature. But at the same time, some puzzle pieces can be filled by others. So we provide diversity in approach to study. Now, that's not the only diversity out there. Young musicians nowadays can search for materials, music history materials, other supporting discipline materials, and performance courses. Performance courses, technology courses, they need to know all of that. They can't just bury their nose in their instrument, because the world is no longer focused on specialty. The world is focused on diversity.
What's really amazing about that clip is that she's talking clearly about diversity, not only in terms of the kind of music you play, but diversity in terms of the experiences that you have as a musician. And so by putting musicians on tour or in masterclasses overseas, on stages all over the world, you get a really diverse background. And one of the things I love about this music career that I've embarked on is all the variety of musicians I've met, but also the experiences I've had with them, and to talk with them about how they think and view music. A really important part of music studies isn't just at the keyboard or at the instrument or at your voice or studying the score. A lot of it is actually embarking upon these cultural events and cultural experiences to see what there is within the music and within the musicians' lives, to give you that sense of a journey. A life of an artist is not simply just spending all the time at the instrument. It's about living life, because as Paul Tortelier says, famous cellist, while philosophers teach people how to think and to give meaning to life, composers teach us how to love, and composers teach us how life is led and the journey in which that happens. And if you don't experience love in all types and different types of forms all around the world, and you don't see that, it's hard to put that into your music and what you do. So as someone who's going to be a guest artist at part of the Carnegie Hall performances and the gallery event in November, I can't wait to be on stage, of course, but also to meet other musicians who will be on stage with me. And oh, that is going to be such an amazing event to meet them and to hear their stories. Because what is life about if not stories? And stories are what drives us, motivates us, gives us encouragement and support. And this diversity we talk about is diversity in stories, stories that you hear, stories that you experience, and stories that you live. And next, we're going to talk about repertoire, because repertoire is, again, you're embarking on the stories of your own. Maybe you're a composer, or you're embarking on the stories of other composers. So let's talk about that and listen to this clip.
Repertoire. Let's just show a few things about how we approach diversity and inclusivity in the concept of the repertoire for the competition. For example, you can see the card on screen, which says "Be heard now." Choose your repertoire based on what speaks to your heart most at the moment. In the moment, today, maybe you're interested in Bach. There's no restriction in the competition for you not to focus your repertoire on Bach. Now, be free from time restraints. There's no time limit. Most competitions limit the time on stage to make it fair. We took a completely opposite approach. We believe it's fair for the artists to have the stage to themselves with a length which their message requires. So there's no time restraints. One can play for 5 minutes or 50 minutes. We also would like to support being adventurous with your repertoire. One of the last year's teachers commented that Sound Espressivo finally allowed him to help students choose diverse repertoire and include pieces which they wouldn't normally include in a competition for simple reason, for fear of not being accepted. Sound Espressivo wants to support diverse approach to the repertoire.
Yeah, and what is really cool about that is repertoire, as I said, are stories. Things you play, music that you play are stories. Even songs that you listen to are stories. And you think about why music came about, is that a story in itself, if just and the spoken word is interesting, but a story like a ballad, a mythical story, when you put song to it, it gives it a rhythm, it gives it a way to allow you to be entranced by the story. And so music is all about storytelling, and sometimes these stories are sad, sometimes these stories are nostalgic and melancholic, sometimes these stories are delightful, full of joy. Sometimes these stories are improvised and made up on the spot. And sometimes these stories have a lot of structure and are very serious in nature. Maybe it's a tragedy. And what I love about something like a composer like Beethoven is that all his stories seem to be very unique, and he really is trying to take you on a journey that ultimately has a very strong message. It's not just something superfluous. It's something that is has meaning, has direction, and really tries to give you that message as impactfully as possible. And I just absolutely love what he does with it. And this kind of way of storytelling comes in many different forms, and that's why we include everyone in this, and we want to be as diverse as possible because we want to hear all your stories. So if you are interested in this, make sure you do apply and consider joining us this season. Right, we have a deadline of October 1st for our Carnegie Hall Gala auditions, but if you go to our website, www.soundespressivocompetition.com or progressivemusician.com, you'll find that there are a lot of different chances for you to perform and to tell your story. Speaking of diversity and telling stories, we also have a great judges panel. And the judges panel are, again, people who have embarked on many stories and want to help you. So let's have a look at this clip that Dr. Anna talks about our judges, and an incredible judge at that.
Judges of the Sound Espressivo are in some ways unusual musicians. What you're seeing right now is actually an announcement of an upcoming concert tonight. which is presented by Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. It's a 36th annual Mayor's Arts Awards. And one of the Sound Espressivo judges, Michelle Kim, is performing in that concert. Michelle Kim is a violinist with the Kennedy Center Opera House Orchestra here in Washington, D.C. And she's also a soloist and a chamber musician. She's also a professional band leader. She has her own band in which she performs on electric violin. At this concert at the Mayor's Arts Awards presentation, she is performing her own piece. Now, this is diversity at work, and we would like to encourage young musicians to apply for the competition, to meet Michelle, to speak with her, to find out why and how she manages such a diverse career as a musician. Now, let's put up the next card here. This is a phenomenal pianist, Mark Berman, who is a classical trained pianist, and he's a jazz improviser, phenomenal jazz improviser. He's actually the pianist in the Sex and the City. You hear him playing there. And if you go to New York, you'll hear him live in Broadway shows and many other places. He is a member of the judges panel, and again, you will meet him if you apply for the competition, because he will be there and he will be providing his feedback. The panels of the competition consist of judges who represent different disciplines.
Yeah, and these disciplines and these different stories that they come from are also really important in the kind of immediate feedback that they give. Immediate feedback is something that's very unique to our competition, and it's really important, especially when we have a varied judges panel who are there to just give you amazing feedback right after you play. So they respond to your story, they respond to your diverse and beautiful story that you tell, and then you get the feedback on that story that you are trying to tell everybody, and they might have tips on how you can communicate that story better. They might have ways in which you can highlight certain parts of your story in a more impactful way. So this is incredible. And there's another clip I want to show you that talks a little bit more about the judges panel, which we'll watch, and then I'll talk a little bit more about that.
A flutist will perform in the semi-final round, and there will be a panel of judges consisting, of course, of one of the members will be a flutist, but other members of the panel will be conductors, composers, jazz pianist, maybe a violinist. Those panels again represent diversity, and we see the power in it because young musicians will be able to receive immediate feedback from established artists who focus on potentially a different instrument, have different experience of playing chamber music in different ensembles, different orchestras, different concert halls. Yet there's something connecting all those instruments, the music itself. So we will be able to provide the feedback from diverse group of our judges and from different angles. We think that's valuable.
It's absolutely valuable, Dr. Anna. And what we want to do with diversity and inclusivity, like I said, is talk about different stories. And these judges who can come from all different backgrounds offer something very special because they have more experience or knowledge and also a different perspective. So you get all of that in diversity. I want to finish up our conversation today by talking about how diversity takes dedication and organization. It's not so easy to include everyone. It takes a lot of dedication to make sure everyone is in the right spot. Everyone is allowed and given the platform to hear the kind of diverse perspectives that they may be hearing from the judges. It also takes a lot of organization because people from all different diverse backgrounds need to be put in a certain place that allows them to enjoy certain kinds of music. I also want to say that inclusivity means sincerity and thoughtfulness, right? When we include everybody, we really want to include everybody because we're sincerely engaging in people's conversations and the stories that they tell through their music need to be thoughtfully put on. So diversity and inclusivity are really important values, but it takes a lot of effort and dedication and organization. And what it requires from you as a musician and a performer is sincerity and thoughtfulness, because we want to put you on stage, but it's up to you to come up with a story that's convincing and gives us a way to showcase what you're really about. We have an incredible upcoming season, and I want to finish off by showing you a wonderful reel. But first, make sure you apply. SoundEspressivoCompetition.com, ProgressiveMusicians.com, and ColdOrchestra.com have incredible tools and application forms for all of you to have a look at. We have a really exciting season ahead. It's only September now, and we're going all the way to July 2024, and I want you to be on board with us. Tell us your story. Give us your music. Let us showcase your story and what you want to say out to the world, so we can give you all the opportunities to be heard and to be connected with musicians and entrepreneurs and artists who value you as a musician. Enjoy this clip. Hey, check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall, so I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo will be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to SoundEspressivoCompetition.com to check out our season and to apply. Well, what other message do you need? I encourage you to apply. I want to give a huge thanks to our sponsors and our supporters, because they have all embarked on this amazing adventure with us to showcase your story. And when we talk about story, it's not just, story you tell on stage with spoken word, which you can, but we also support you in the musical journey and the stories you want to tell through the music and the composers you adore and love and admire. We have incredible sponsors from all over the world, literally, and we are expanding. So if you would like to join us, please make sure you embark on this journey alongside us, and we'll make sure to include you in all your diversity, in all your diverse opinions and thoughts and perspectives about how this music world is going. We have incredible sponsors, as well as our team, who is also, and they're also very diverse. Our team is comprised of so many incredible musicians of all different backgrounds who have gotten together because they share these amazing values of inclusivity and diversity, as well as making sure you are heard in the best technical ability we have to offer in this current 21st century. So without further ado, I want to remind everyone that we have a show on at noon every single day to highlight different aspects of our competition as well as our organization. And I hope that you will join us for our next time, because we are having guests coming on soon, and we are having interviews with panels and judges. It's going to get very exciting, and we invite you to be a part of it for free. Just be a part of us, comment and subscribe and like. We will be there, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.